And I'm not saying she's definitely lumping smacking in with corporal punishment all the way, but it certainly sounds like she is. There's also no suggestion that she's factoring in psychological abuse or verbal abuse that might be happening in these families. People who argue against smacking typically do it this way. Corporal punishment is bad, so spanking must be just as bad as any other kind of corporal punishment. Basically, he's making a case here for smacking 2 to 6-year-olds as long as you're not smacking them too often and as long as you're keeping an eye on whether it's actually effective for your child. Such detrimental associations of frequent use of any disciplinary tactic may be due to residual confounding from initial child misbehavior. So kids just don't change very quickly. It looks like across the board, for these papers, smacking was a good thing. And when smacking was a bad thing, it was obviously because they were smacking way too much. So you can't make a case against non-injurious smacking from the papers that have actually been done. A ban of a medical intervention would never be supported on the basis of such meagre evidence, and that includes studies that included severe types of corporal punishment, such as beating with a stick, still hurt the next day, burning, and using a knife or gun. 18 studies in the 1996 review investigated alternative disciplinary tactics as well as smacking. Only grounding was more effective than smacking in 2 studies of older children. 9 alternatives were associated with more detrimental outcomes in children than was smacking. He found stronger evidence of beneficial rather than detrimental effects of non-abusive spanking by parents with preschool children aged 2 to 6 years. Young children need correction and punishment, but this is often ignored by the opponents of physical punishment. Timeout and disapproval are effective tools, but are not sufficient to control all problem behavior with all children. If kids are left totally out of control when they're 2, they don't necessarily grow out of it. Perhaps it's more likely that they stay out of control and they become really violent, dangerous teenagers. That was from Trumbull, he's a pediatrician. Smacking has adverse effects only when it's excessive. There is no evidence that occasional smacking is harmful, and indeed it would be astonishing if they were, given the trivial nature of the physical and psychological event. There are even theoretical reasons to suppose that smacking may be less harmful than some alternative strategies. It is, after all, quickly over and avoids protracted emotional withdrawal, like "I won't love you if you're naughty," which for many parents is the alternative.